smutzer. Listen, I'm sick and tired of my mother-in-law's ghost sitting in an apple tree up front of our house every night singing Camptown races. What should I do?
Now then, Wally, you have that tape?
Yeah.
All right, why don't you give it to Mr. Alonzo? Wake him up. Wake up, Mr. Alonzo.
Joe Alonzo.
Good boy. All right.
You want to play the tape now?
We're going to play the Wally Ballou tape, the one that he made when he visited the laboratory of Matthew E. Pulsifer. Okay, let it roll.
Peeking from the laboratory of Dr. Matthew E. Pulsifer, and about set for our first look at Dr. Pulsifer's invention, the fact Datatron. Doctor, I wonder if you could give us a little background material on the machine that we're going to see demonstrated very presently here.
Yes, well, first of all, I want to welcome you here to the laboratory, Mr. Ballou. This is a computer machine that I have been working on for 11, 12 years.
That was after you gave up brain surgery, was it?
Oh, yes, many years after that. Now, what I do here is I can feed certain information and data to this machine.
Uh-huh.
And then the machine more or less digests this information that I feed it, and it gives you your answer within certain limitations.
Well, I mean, would it answer any question I wanted to ask, or does it have that information within it?
No, that's one of the limitations. The questions have to be easy, something you could figure out in your own head.
One of the bugs you're trying to get out of it, I understand.
Yes, that's right.
So then, when the digested information is completed, it's returned on cards, I presume.
It comes out through, well, do you want to step over here? I'll show you the machine, Mr. Ballou.
Easiest thing.
The fact Datatron is electrically powered. And
see, it's plugged into the wall over there.
Right down here is where the answer will come out. In here is where I feed the information, the data I was speaking about.
Well, do you do that before or after the question is asked?
You do it before.
Before.
And then
you want to feed some information into it, and then I'll ask a question.
All right, well, let me open the door, and I'll feed it the information.
Mr. Pulsifer is shoveling mounds of information into the machine. And I hear an electric current going on. Something is working in there.
Well, it's beginning to digest all that information, those 2 or 3 shovelfuls that I just put in there.
Uh-huh. That should be enough to answer.
Mm-hmm.
Simple question.
That's working in good shape. All right.
Now, here's the question I'd like to ask the machine. Is it all ready?
I think so, yes. The lights are on, so you ask it any question.
Right. If a person was born November 1st, 1955, say, how old would he be on November 1st, 1965? Yes, he'd be 10 years old, I suppose.
Well, we'll see what the machine says.
Well, it's 55 to 65. What's that mean? There's a card coming out of the side of the machine.
It said 11, question mark.
Well, the answer is 10, I'm sure of that.
Well, I'm going to put some more information in there anyway.
Maybe it didn't have enough facts to go on.
Yeah. I'll put plenty of information in this time, and then you can ask it a question. That's very good. That's easy for it, too.
It seemed like an easy question.
Yes, that's a nice, easy question. All right, now...
You want me to change it?
No. Well, yes, kind of...
All right, let me get
wait
that.
Second. Let it digest this information, please. All right, now.
Is it ready now?
Yes, it's ready to go. Now
all right, here's a simple one. How old am I this year?
Now, let's see what the machine says. It says 41, question mark?
No.
Well, there's another card coming out. 28?
No.
35?
No. It's getting warmer, though.
41.
No. It guessed that before.
It said that once before.
Yes, it likes that.
59.
No.
10.
No. That was the answer to the first question. Is it extrapolating now?
Mr. Ballou, you can stay here a little longer with the machine if you want. I'm going to go upstairs.
All right, this is Radio's Wally Ballou.
Disappointed with it.
Returning you to our New York studios from the laboratory of Matthew E. Pulver.
Well, that must have been some experience, Wally.
Yes, it was. Did you enjoy the tape?
Very, very much so.
I didn't get a chance to edit it before we played it, I thought.
He sounds like a very unusual person, this Matthew Pulsifer.
Yes, he does.
All right.
Aching my seat now, if you don't
All
mind.
right, Wally, fine.
Deep in the left center field is rolling.
This is radio's award-winning Wally Ballou here on the beach in behalf of Bob and Ray's campaign for a transistor radio in every home. And it's a scene of panoramic surf, sand, and radios. Radio goes everywhere with the consumer, and this certainly proves it. Man, could I have a word with you, please?
Sure. Man, this group really swings,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I wonder if you could lower it a little bit. You seem kind of old for that type of music.
Well, I like all kinds, but when I'm on the beach, I like to really let go. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, you're blocking the sun.
Well, don't kick sand on me. You'll ruin the equipment, sir.
Never mind him, Mr. Ballou. He's a big bully.
Yes, ma'am. Did you know that every summer radio reaches more adults than TV?
I'm warning you, buddy. Bug off.
Sir, please don't kick sand on my equipment.
Hold my radio. I'll take care of him.
Ladies and gentlemen, that nice little old lady just gave the bully a couple of karate chops, and he's out like a light.
Now, what were you saying about radio in the summer?
Forget it.
And let's see. According to the call board, Wally Ballou is standing by with a report from the Transatlantic Bridge. I really didn't know there was such a thing.
It's still under construction, I think. Actually, I don't know. It hasn't got much publicity.
Well, I'm sure we'll learn all of the details as we switch out there now to correspondent Wally Ballou.
Wally Ballou speaking from the main construction shack of the Transatlantic Bridge, some 800 miles due east of New York. Beside me is one of the men responsible for this eighth wonder of the world, Mr. Oddmont Fulcrum. I believe I'm correct, Mr. Fulcrum, in saying that the bridge construction is now extended to a point about 800 miles out of New York.
We're right around 800 miles from New York, yes. We don't keep an accurate check on our mileage, but we're less than halfway across.
As I understand it, the bridge ultimately will end in England.
Well, we're pointing it toward England, but in the event that we miss the mark, we'll just go on to the French coast.
You know, it's strange, but I could swear that I hear an automobile motor way off in the distance. But, of course, that's impossible.
No, it's not impossible at all. We've opened the toll house at the New York end.
Gee whiz, that car went right off the end of the bridge and into the ocean. Shouldn't you put up a sign of some kind to warn people the bridge isn't completed beyond this point?
Well, it wouldn't do much good, really. The bridge is too narrow to turn a car around on, and you certainly couldn't back up 800 miles to New York.
No.
When you hit this point, you almost have to drive off the end.
Yeah, I suppose so. The amazing thing to me about this monumental project is the fact that only 3 men are working on it. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I'm working on it. Jimmy Sanderson's working on it, and Bobby Bogle is working on it. And the funny part is that none of us had any previous experience in bridge building.
Well, then, how did you ever get the idea for building a bridge clear across the Atlantic Ocean?
Well, it all came about kind of by accident. Wally, Jimmy and Bobby and I were at Coney Island one summer afternoon back in 1951. We were trying to build a castle in the sand, but the thing kept falling down.
Uh-huh.
And when we got finished, we discovered that what we really had was a bridge approach.
And so you decided to just go ahead and build a bridge out of sand all the way to Europe. Is that it?
That's right. We figure that with airline and steamship fares as high as they are, a lot of people would be glad to pay a 50-cent toll to drive across. We opened the New York toll house right away so we'd have some operating capital.
Well, I don't notice any machinery or anything around here. You usually see pile drivers and things like that where a bridge is being built.
Well, most bridges are not built out of sand. All we use are buckets and shovels. Jimmy and Bobby dig up the sand at Coney Island, and they bring it out to me, and then I pack it down here at the end of the bridge.
Wow. Oh, and you were telling me before we went on the air that you hope to complete the project by about 1987, 88?
That's right. Of course, you can drive out this far anytime you'd like.
No, thanks. I think I'll wait until it's finished.
Well, suit yourself about that.
Well, I want to thank you for chatting with us, Mr. Fulcrum. And now this is Wally Ballou, winner of 51 international awards, sending it back to New York.
This is Bill Capriccio from Capriccio's down by the river. Listen, business been a little slow lately. You guys want to order a pizza?
The reaction to Artie Schermerhorn's coverage recently of a pea-picking contest was so good that this week we've sent him to Jessup, Georgia, where Artie will describe the events at a real cotton-picking contest. So come in, Artie Schermerhorn.
This is Artie Schermerhorn in Jessup, Georgia. We are broadcasting at the contest here where the person who will harvest the crop, the most of it, in a given period of time will be declared the winner. I'm trying to avoid the phrase cotton picking because it's become more or less of an old joke, and I don't want to fall into that trap. Standing beside me is a gentleman who tells me he's been judging these contests for over 35 years. He's beloved in these parts. His name is Ned Bodine. Ned himself is a former picking champion, and he has granted to say a few words to us and answer some of my questions. I hope they don't appear to be too naive.
No, I'm sure they won't, Artie, and let me welcome you here to Jessup, and it's a pleasure to see you as we harvest the white stuff.
I might point out that just as we came on the air, you heard a burst of applause and laughter. I wonder if you could tell our listeners, Ned, just what those people over there in position to harvest were doing.
Well, that's the cotton-picking comedy and fancy cotton-picking, which, of course, is not a feature of the real work of the day, and they just try to get a little humor into it. None of these cotton pickers are entered in the main cotton-picking event.
Say, Ned, what is the record for picking the product you mentioned in a single contest?
Cotton-picking?
Yes.
The record for cotton picking is held by Spoof Burford, and that was set back in 1934, Artie. Three and a quarter bales in one hole.
I see. What would you say would be the ideal competitive picker of the white stuff? In other words, what do you think are the ingredients that would go into making a champion picker of the product here?
Well, big cotton-picking hands, of course, are an asset, and a good pair of cotton-picking lungs, because the cotton-picking lint really flies during one of these cotton-picking contests.
Doggone it.
But maybe most important of all, Artie, he's got to have a real cotton-picking heart to be champ. He's got to eat, sleep, and live cotton-picking.
Doggone it. Now, looking over the entries, who do you think will pick the most of the product?
Crop?
Yes, of the crop here today.
Clive Durf from over Salt of Florida way is the cotton-picking favorite here today.
Do they have to run the cotton they've picked through the gin? Would you say that?
Yes, they run it through the cotton-picking gin at the end of the cotton-picking day, after the bales and the holes are tallied up.
What will the winner get here for picking the most of this crop?
He gets the cotton-picking plaque and $5,000 cotton-picking dollars.
Doggone it. It happened. This is Artie Schermerhorn sending it back to the cotton-picking.
This is radio's Wally Ballou on location for Bob and Ray. Today, visiting the Norton Nasagraph Company, the people who turned out nasographs in great numbers over the past years, and we're chatting with Mr. Norton. Sir, surplus has become big business, and I understand that you're here in the midst of a surplus of nasographs which have been turned back in.
That's right. It was a government order that all nasographs be turned back to us, and we paid what we thought was a fair price to the owners of them. Fortunately, they were never supposed to fall into civilian hands, these nasographs.
What were they originally designed for? I know the
Well, I don't want to divulge that, but they were supposed to go up on our military aircraft in World War II.
Maybe some of you remember the Norton nasograph. It used to be carried aboard in sealed containers with the pilot carrying one part of it.
That's right. The co-pilot carried another part of the nasograph. The engineer carried part of the nasograph, the bombardier, the tail gunner, and then they'd reassemble it when they were aloft.
And, of course, we are not at liberty to say what they did with it. Then the civilians got hold of this, and what use, I think we are quite familiar with.
Well, what brought it all to our attention was it was turned into commercial use. We saw people breathing on it, and it caused a flurry at my plant, and in government circles, we call all the nasographs back. I'd like to make this one final plea that, remember, after September 1st, it's against the law to own a nasograph. We want them all back.
Well, now, Mr. Norton, maybe you've thought about this plan. I know a lot of surplus people do make use of things that have become obsolete. I know the nasograph, by obsolescence, might have still some use in another form. Have you any ideas about what you could do with it?
We have some ideas. Some of them are military and some are medical. But I wouldn't want to go in to discuss it much further with you because I'm afraid I'd be treading on secret information. And rather than run the risk of 15 years and $10,000 or both, I'd shut up.
Okay, Mr. Norton, I think we've gotten the picture here from your surplus warehouse. If the restrictions are lifted, and if you can talk about the nasograph in the future, be sure and give us a call. We'll come out here again with our
broadcasting equipment. What's your number, Oxford 7?
No, I'll give it to you after we get off the air.
All right.
And now back to the studio.
Wally Ballou, please. Come in.
Hey, Ballou, here at the airport, where we're about to take you, the radio listener, on the imaginary trip in the Airliner.
My mic off swell. Hey, look, from now on, listen, you guys. When I'm doing a show, I want good earphones, or I'm not showing up for any more programs. I don't care anything about it. I just soon waltz look at any one of you.
Airliner that we're about to...
My mic is on.
Is just about ready to take off, and you may be able to hear the pilot as he gives the instructions for the...
Port engine 1. Port engine 2.
For the engines to be turned on. Port engine 1, port engine 2 have been turned on. Probably now the starboard engine 3 and starboard engine 4.
Starboard engine 1, you idiot.
Starboard engine 1.
Starboard engine 2.
And starboard engine 2. Now it's ready to go. This is a four-engine plane.
Skyliner, Flight 35, ready.
And Flight 35 is ready to take off. There's 2 or 3 little children here aboard the plane with me, and I'm sure they will get a big thrill out of this as...
Your landing gear.
I will.
Gear up.
I don't know what that meant. He said gear up.
Okay, take her now. I'll say hello to our passengers.
Now the pilot's going to say hello to us.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Captain Williams.
Who?
Your pilot on this flight.
Captain Williams?
We are now airborne at 12,000 feet.
Get me out of here!
310 miles per hour, and will reach Chicago on schedule in 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Going to reach Chicago in 3 hours and 20 minutes, ladies and gentlemen.
Here, put these pillows on your laps, and I'll put the trays on them.
Oh, thanks. They're serving some kind of...
Why don't you put the trays on the kids and you sit on my lap?
Hey, that was good. Where are we now, Miss Jones?
Let me see. Let me have the window seat there, will you, kid? Because I want
to... Hey, you big bully, let the kids look out the window.
And I've got to describe this for the radio audience, what I see.
Radio beams all the way. I guess Captain Williams is checking right now.
Stewardess is saying something about radio.
I don't know, but I've read something on the little piece of paper they give you a radio that you're not even supposed to turn on a little small radio, never mind big broadcasting stuff.
Well, we have special permission. Do it.
If Captain Williams sees it or hears of this, he's going to come back and really fix your wagon.
Captain Williams is a little squirt. I saw him when I got aboard the plane.
Oh, yeah? Wait, I'm going to go up. Hey, Captain Williams! Captain Williams!
Well, that tattletale is running to the captain now.
All the broadcasting out here, he said you're a sport.
And we may be forced to cancel. Yes, we are. Oh, it wasn't Captain Williams. It's somebody else I thought that was Captain Williams. This is a rather large...
Industry on the march. Again, we follow Wally Ballou. This time he is in Ohio. Come in, please, Wally Ballou.
I'm Ohio.
at one of the foremost flour mills in this country, the Fordice Flour Works, where we're speaking with the Assistant Chief General Manager, Finkley L. Brysocker. Fink, if we might fire a few questions at you. First of
all, let me tell you, Mr. Ballou, that it is really a pleasure to be talking with you. I've listened to you so many times.
Well,
and really, I'm thrilled to meet you in
taken us
person.
some time to get out here to your plant, but as you know, we're reviewing industry this week, Fink, and we thought we'd just kind of cover what you're doing here.
Sure, but it really is a
explain
thrill.
a little bit of your operation for us.
Well, we, of course, make flour here, and a lot of it is self-rising flour. Some of it isn't. And
I notice all of the workers are immaculately dressed in white uniforms.
Oh, yes, and all the lady employees wear hairnets so their hair won't fall in the flour.
And hairpins, I suppose, other...
That's right, and we take all kinds of protective measures. Well, we have those heavy sheets across the vats so that when the globs of grease fall down from the heavy machinery, it won't go right into the flour
there.
That's right, because something like that can hurt your business.
Well, I should imagine that
somebody at home open up a bag of flour and find a glob of grease there. Well, you're going to hear about it.
Well, you're certainly to be commended on having the foresight to think of protecting yourself in this manner, and, of course, the housewife at the same time.
Yes. Well, we think that employee morale is very important to a good operation, Wally. May I call you Wally?
I wish you would, Fake.
And for that reason, we have a very generous retirement plan here, and we have hot chocolate delivered to the employees twice a day, coffee if they want, or milk, cookie, and...
ice cream?
No.
Well, you certainly seem to have employee morale.
Another towel.
And a towel to wipe their hands after their little time out for refreshment.
And their mouths.
And, of course, the hairnets. I think you certainly proved that you are looking at this thing in a modern way, that you're presenting the best product possible for you to present with the facilities you have here. And we certainly wish a great deal of success for Fordice Flour. Anything you'd like to say in conclusion before we return it to our main studio? That's it, then. We'll return it now to...
I can't think of much, Wally.
Can you hear me?
Do you know the words to Deck the Halls?
I know them.
I know
I think I do.
Yeah, from school. Deck the halls with boughs Holly, yeah.
Why don't you try it anyway, and if it works out, why we'll...
Okay, Bob, give us a downbeat.
All right.
1, 2, 3, and then...
Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly. La 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 la. La 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 la. Here's the season to be jolly. La 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 la. La la la. Don't we know our gay?
Not Mary's key at all.
No, it isn't. Very good.
Gee, that was nice. Mary, that's not your key at all.
Well, you sound a little like Arthur Schrank there for a minute. If I didn't know he was in Hong
Sound
Kong,
like you
I
swallowed
would...
a cut glass vase before you started to sing that one.
Well, I suppose we better light the tree and then pass out the presents, hadn't we?
Okay.
Will that be the next order of business?
Well, Bob, I think last year you pushed the button.
Yeah, I did.
So that means, everything being fair and square, that I pushed the button to light the tree this year.
Okay.
Are you all set, everybody?
Oh, yes, we're all set.
Okay, here I go. 1, 2, 3.
What do you know about that?
Oh, isn't
Where's
that...
our lighting expert?
Isn't that a shame?
Sven?
Oh,
Sven.
isn't that a shame?
Sven Ostersvey set the lighting thing up, and...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. What's the matter?
Were you in charge of seeing that we had the right spider on the floor and the right cords and the
Well,
right
I got
thing?
mixed up in a little of that spaghetti on the floor there. All that mixed up wires and things.
You saw what happened. The flag is completely...
I think I plugged the lights into the tape recorder.
The tree there is completely disintegrated.
Yeah, I see that. That's
Not a thing left.
It burned all the branches off there.
Not a thing. There must be $5 or $6 there tied up in decorations.
Well, it didn't ruin the presents any.
Some of that tinsel is still okay, I suppose, but...
We could drape that around the window of the control room. But otherwise, it's a real mess.
I have a rubber plant that's out in the office. I'll bring that in.
Think you'll save the day, Mary.
We can decorate the rubber plant.
All right, would you go and get it? Then, I'm sorry you caused all of this
It's
confusion.
okay, and Merry Christmas. Oh.
Gone.
To both of them. Merry Christmas to Mary and to Sven.
Yeah, I hope she gets that back here in time because it doesn't really... I suppose we can start giving...
Giving out
give
some of the
Wally his
presents.
present, yeah.
Wally,
Yes, sir, front and center.
Incidentally, yeah, well, it is, but before we give you your present, Wally, I was looking at the teletypewriter, and I'm afraid that duty calls again for you tonight, fortunately.
Uh-oh. I almost could tell this was coming. Another assignment, huh?
That's right. We
I was
understand.
hoping to get home to Rosedale to the wife, Hullabaloo, and the kid, little boy.
Right. Unfortunately, this will take you in the other direction. Tonight marks the final run of a commuter train that goes from Amityville to Montauk.
Oh, that should be fun, though.
And we'd like you to cover that for CBS.
Yeah, they'll be in a good mood, the folks on that train.
So if you'd get going, well, first of all...
Well, let me open the present
Merry
first.
Christmas, Wally. Open the present. There you are. Hope it's...
I do appreciate... Hey, just what I wanted. A necktie.
Yes.
You fellas are about the most original people I know.
Mm-hmm. And look, on the other side there, don't let that service station insignia bother you, because nobody will see it.
Oh, I noticed that. I'll have to tie it backwards.
Tie it backwards so that they won't see the
Says I should wear it with a gray suit.
Right.
But I'm colorblind. How do I tell what suit?
And a black visored cap. But anyway, Merry Christmas, Wally.
Merry Christmas, and hope you get the rubber plant decorated in time.
Thank you, Wally. Bye, buddy.
Merry Christmas.
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry to see Wally go.
Come on, now, open up yours here,
He's going to
Will.
help me make the punch.
Well, we can take care of that.
Whose present is this?
This is yours.
Oh.
Wish Mary would get back. How do you like that? Do you think it'll fit?
Well, I wouldn't wear a little calendar like that.
Oh, you're...
Hey, did you color this yourself with your own crayon?
No, it's watercolor.
Beautiful.
I thought it looked kind of nice. It looked better.
That's glue on the back of December 60, isn't it? I can stick on any piece of paper.
What?
I said that's glue, isn't it, on the back of December 60?
Yes.
So I can stick it on every piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's certainly something I can use every day of the year.
Well, that's we thought it would be practical for
Very
you.
nice. Very, very,
And I think maybe if you go down now and tell
I'll
the
start
sleigh...
to make the bowl.
Well, before you do that, tell the sleigh man downstairs we'll be down in a few minutes, will you?
Okay, I'll tell him.
Did you get the rubber plant, Mary?
Yes, here it is.
Okay, good.
I have some decorations, too, just so long as we have something that looks like a tree and is lit up.
I think so.
Boy, that sounds like a straight line.
No, that'll work all right. We've got a few lights that'll still work. I think there's another string we didn't use before.
Mary, we have a little something for you, too, from Bob and Ray. There you are.
Hope you like it.
Nice. That's what, a hat brush?
Huh? Yes. You can use it for suede or like shoes and stuff.
Very nice.
Or for your leather jacket.
Well, I don't have a leather jacket. It's very nice.
Handy, huh?
I don't know how you ever knew I wanted that.
Well, little birds gave us little tips on things that you folks want.
Very nice, very nice.
Okay, that's it. Merry Christmas, Mary.
Merry Christmas to you, too. I think we all have something for you gentlemen, too.
Well, that's very nice. I think we ought to thank the 20 people who showed up in the studio tonight.
My
all nights.
heart goes out to them, really. You'd think that they could be at a place where some of their own relatives and friends are on Christmas Eve, but thank you for coming here, and on the way out, we want you to be sure and put out the lights as you leave. Thank you.
So, enjoy yourself. I guess we could be leaving now, couldn't we?
Guess so. Well...
Don't forget, we will be back here tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, we'll be back with our big Christmas dinner and everything. Well, we hope you all have a Merry Christmas and...
Have a very Merry Christmas, and come on with us down the hall now while we go out. Get into the sleigh.
Down the hall here. And...
Elevators are still running.
Where you going, down?
Yes, please.
Get in, face front.
Okay, Gus.
Merry Christmas, incidentally, Gus.
Yeah, same to you.
Kind of makes you feel warm, doesn't it, Ray?
What?
No, I was talking to Ray.
Yeah, it kind of makes me feel warm.
Yeah.
So long and Merry Christmas to you.
So long.
Yeah, he's out there. I can see him through the glass doors out on 52nd Street.
Boy, it's cold tonight.
Oh, boy. Bundle up.
Well,
Get up into the sleigh.
get your greatcoat on.
Okay, driver. To the Cratchits.
Don't spare the horses either, driver.
Do you have those hot chestnuts?
Yeah, sure. I forgot them, Ray.
Good. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, and Webley and Wally, will you sign the show off in just 10 seconds?
Okay, and until tomorrow, this is Webley Webster wishing you a Merry Christmas.
And Wally Ballou wishing you a Merry Christmas, too.
Close in 5 minutes.